We'll push that.
Right. So when you guys are done, that little circle and square, just push it when it's done. When it's done.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
I'd like to call to order the regular session of the Trinidad Tourism Board, Wednesday the 27th at 9:09. Roll call.
Campbell here.
Michaels,
Reller.
Richardson.
Petitions or communications, oral or written? I don't think we had any.
Let's think about this clearly. So I guess one of the, is what do we have from tourism for the city? Anything like, we just were talking about, what is the plan normal for the flowers? Is there any other plans for downtown area? And then the other question I had was, wasn't the state supposed to come at the end of this week and talk to the city about a welcome center? And are we going to that meeting, or do we know anything about it?
I don't.
I mean, it's just a hearsay thing, but I'd like to know that. Could you maybe find out, Tom, and let us know if she's coming? I'd like to
We'd like
be
to
there
go.
with them.
I know that Marty was inviting the people from the different committees to come and speak to us. I don't know what the status of that is either.
I think that was the last meeting that we had. It was a work session.
Is that when we talked about it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was a work session.
And she's with us trying, she doesn't go get a hold of it.
Yeah.
The planters, I know they're replanting them now. They're at the Trinidad greenhouse planting all the flowers. So I don't know when she's gonna put them out, but they should.
How's the greenhouse doing?
I think Carol's doing okay. She did some beautiful flowers the other day, but I think she's doing good. I think that stress of her mother passed away, and I think she was taking care of her so much then. But that's where Karen is now. They're transplanting flowers.
Very good.
For downtown.
Wally, do you know anything about the state director for tourism coming to town?
Nobody told me anything about that.
Okay.
All right, that's,
Approval of minutes for March the 9th. Have a motion.
I motion to approve the minutes. I mean,
It was for special session.
the
March the
minutes. I
20th.
do make a motion to approve the minutes for the special.
Actually, I can't second it.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of invoices. Did everybody get a chance to look at
Did
them?
everybody look
Does
at
anybody
them?
want to look at them?
I make a motion, we pay our bills.
I second that, pay our bills.
Aye.
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 Yes, you make a motion.
New business, tourism spring grant applications. Grant applications will invite to interns to present on behalf or answer questions from the board. Each applicant has a maximum of 10 minutes.
And you got the timer right there.
And I'm just gonna use the one on my phone.
Okay.
So Caveman Festival is first.
Right.
Wally, can we just have you step out until we'll talk to them and?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you all.
No problem.
Do you want to come in?
I thought we kind of had like down what we were.
It's right here.
It's on down here. It's down. It is definitely down.
This is what we recommended.
This is what we recommend you do.
I love it when things are organized.
Am I supposed to approach?
I don't know where Tom, oh, there's Tommy. Yeah, you can go.
Slowly.
How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Good. Well, so what do I need to do here? Is it Q&A or?
Yes, if anybody has any questions for you. I didn't get to hear when you did come and speak.
Yeah, I was here.
Yeah, I think it was on the screen
Oh,
when I
it was
was
on the
here. It was
screen.
before I was on this. Was
Neither, yeah, I don't think neither one of you were here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you were silent here. You were on the screen.
Yeah, and then you and I were here.
That's right. Okay. So there was a few people that saw what you presented and how you're presenting the festival out there. So if you just talk a little bit about your advertising, what you're doing.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
right now we've got some ad agencies, not necessarily agencies, but people that specialize in geo-targeting and advertising nationwide for large sporting events, festivals, concerts, things like that. One of the groups that we got working for us is Governor, and they do a lot of geo-fencing. So if there's another festival or a concert going on in Denver that has Zach Bryan at it, however they do it, they get our ads in front of those people. That's probably the biggest move that we've made so far. We've had a reach of just under 1 million people.
Okay.
Now, between Facebook and Instagram, our organic reach is 500,000, and our paid reach is 992,000. So it's a lot of people have seen it. There's a lot of excitement out there. Danielle, she takes all the phone calls and emails, and she has a more than full-time job right now. So it's good.
One of the things that you and I talked about just a couple minutes ago is we have this billboard in Pueblo. And we'd like to offer that to you as part of what we're talking about doing for Monument Lake at that time. So if you have that one poster of the caveman, we could possibly get that on that billboard.
Yeah, and so my thoughts on that is I could probably combine some graphics too, to get Monument Lake Resort and Caveman in there.
Yeah.
Where, we could just kind of do the 2-in-1, and at least people will be seeing the websites.
When's your season end up in Monument? Are you staying open with the captaincy around
Yeah, October 2nd.
October?
October 2nd, yeah. So it just gets we've got to shut the water off. Gil likes to shut it down and retest it and things like that in the wintertime. It's not that we couldn't go year round, we're just not ready to yet. There's a lot of renovations that need to happen in the off season still.
Yeah.
Are you busy until the leaves drop? Is that kind of when you?
Yeah,
your season?
yeah, I mean, the colors are changing in full change by then.
I asked because I think that advertising Monument Lake is going to be even bigger than the festival itself, and you have all that reach, but being that it's Labor Day weekend and we already have family reunions and high school reunions and weddings going on in town, there's only so many people that can still come into this area. But I think by you having it, which is fabulous that you're having it and amazing that you're having it, I think the advertisement that that Monument Lake exists is going to be huger for you, and you might see the residuals of advertising that where people can't get a room. And they said, well, maybe we should just come there in the next few weekends since they can't. That was my reasoning to ask, because I really think that your advertising, it's the same like Trinidad. I mean, Trinidad is huge in our area, and we block out all these rooms and all this stuff that happens, but the word Trinidad all over the U.S. for the rest of the year is a signature item for people to remember to Trinidad. And I kind of see your event the same way. It's kind of like you go to Palm Springs and it's not the 2 weekends that Coachella exists, but everybody talks about Coachella all year long, but it's really only 3 days and 3 days.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering how long you stay open, because I think you're going to get a bang for your buck afterwards, not just during that weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. And yeah.
Advertise Monument Lake a lot.
Right, like the board that Tom was talking about, that's the one by Denver.
Right.
Yeah.
And
We have a digital one in Monument.
If I can finish.
uh,
The,
Crystal's trying to-
also, part of my expertise in, just from my past, is radio, television. And we've discussed some, not everybody here yet, but taking the perks from a possible ad or something, or getting some things from you, depending on what we decide here today, and doing a promotion in Amarillo. I have some strong contacts at Cumulus, and they have an Americana station. They don't call it that as much, Caper.
Yeah.
And they, Americana was basically a genre that was created in the 90s because there were all these little things that they wanted to do. It's almost like a southern middle of the road.
Yeah. Right.
And it's kind of grown because it's everything from blues to country rock to soft rock to everything's thrown in there. So there's a lot of places to go with that.
Yeah.
Who's doing your radio and stuff like that? The electronic media.
The gal that runs our media for us, marketing, but like they're in Amarillo. They're going to be a large part of what we're doing, and it is, I think it may be like the second largest Americana station in the country. And the first would be the ranch in Dallas, who we've got full. We've been in meetings with them every week. We're set up to do about $60,000 worth of advertising with them starting in May, and they're putting their name on everything we're doing. So they wanted to be not the exclusive, but they wanted to be the major radio station behind it. So.
Well, it's odd. Caper actually doesn't claim Americana as their genre,
Yeah.
but that's what they're playing, and they recognize it. So,
Yeah.
but that's interesting. That would be Cumulus Radio. All of their package is which Caper's Cumulus station.
Yeah, we've got one of their DJs, and I cannot remember what his name is. Alice, you may know.
Johnny Black. Johnny Black. I can tell you several of them.
But anyways, he's already got a room for the festival. He'll be on the side with us.
So are you already booked for this festival, like all your rooms for this
festival? We have one super VIP room left on resort.
Mm-hmm. And how about your camping spots? Are they all booked too?
No, we've still got a lot of camping spots, but they're, it's been a steady.
How many camping spots are there at Monument Lake?
During season, there's 50 dry camping spots. During this, we're going to have about 150 because we have a ton of space out there that we don't use. So we're just going to do some temporary dry sites, no fire type sites, and, around the lake and whatnot. So we've got so much room. But
most of the Forest Service spots up there are booked at 6 months out. As soon as you can book them, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the ones that don't require that. So there's not a lot of spots for people to show up. And since town is already booked, you said, for that weekend, lodging's a bit of a challenge.
We jumped out ahead. Like we did some rooms with La Quinta, which we're putting a lot of artists there. Grace Potter will be staying at your hotel.
Yeah.
Hit her up, but we jumped out early and built some packages with a handful of hotels in town, and so they equal probably around 100 rooms total. So that's 100 ticket packages we put with them. And then we've also got 2 remote camping sites. Bar and Ranch had given us about 80 acres of a field right there in the valley, just down from Stonewall. And so we'll be busing people to and from the camping areas as well. So
it's a big adventure what you're doing.
it
is.
A lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts. Yeah, I agree because we do the Blues Fest and it's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
You bet it is.
Yeah, well, thank you for doing that. The other question I just had is, are you planning on this being an annual event?
Absolutely. Yeah. I wouldn't have done it once if I wasn't planning on doing it. But this year we kind of, we built our model, and I think it's a very good one. And then now it's built. Now we just duplicate it every year.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, you got about 59 seconds.
All right.
So if you just email that stuff that I asked you to do to Marty,
I'll send it to Marty.
and we can get that on that billboard up in Monument.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That'd be great. It's good to know.
Yeah, it's a nice little billboard.
I need to put something on it that says, not this monument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trinidad's Monument.
That's right.
Yeah.
We do a lot of advertising in our magazines and with Monument Lake too.
Yeah.
We do, because that is one of our highlights.
And before you came on this management there, we tried to get with the last management to help them advertise it because it's a city-owned property.
Mm-hmm.
And, and that was our goal was to push for that, to build that, but now that you're here, we can help you guys out.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And I'll tell you what, as far as advertising the lake and what we did in the off season and pushing it, we do have an ad agency that we work with in Colorado Springs, and they're just on it every day. We've, we're already at just north of $300,000 in bookings for the season, which is
awesome.
Yeah.
Which I think historically is more than they ever did in, a full season. We've not even started yet, so it's going to be a bang up year.
Yeah, I agree.
Is this,
thank you.
All right, thank you.
Is this a good phone number for you, the 3664?
Yes, sir. Yeah, give me a call and if we can connect So people in Amarillo, somebody we haven't already connected with.
Yeah. I'll already see what's going on before we do something, make sure we don't
Okay.
step on toes. Yeah, I was just in Amarillo, it's,
Not what we're granting him right away.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That we only had X amount of hours and then we're.
Just to kind of give you an idea is the amount of money that you would ask for. And our money's derived of the sales tax from motel revenue is where it comes from. And the budget that we have for grants and stuff is $80,000.
Okay.
And we have 11 grants asking for money now. And the possibility, we have 3 other grants, so we have to save some money for the 3 other
Sure.
grants.
Yeah.
So what we come up with all of the grants that we've asked, we've kind of split it up a little bit for each one to get to the point where we're at. So
That's,
just so you
makes
know,
perfect sense.
kind of where we're at.
Here's one other note is that do you collect the lodging tax for the city of Trinidad since it's a city-owned property?
We do.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. And I wanted to let you know, in my application, you know, it asked what the request was, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Right, no.
And that's
Not that I
why, you know,
expected, but
do that.
and that's why I wanted to let you know what our budget is.
I understand.
Okay?
Okay, yeah, and our budget is $80,000 a year.
Yeah.
Not just like this month.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, every little bit counts.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Good talking with you.
So do we vote on it now?
I think we'll
Wait till the end.
we'll wait till the end and we'll do them all.
Okay, good.
Chief is next.
Wally's up.
Wally.
Wally.
She's good.
Also,
I did my first ice
She's
fishing.
having a high roll.
I'm trying not to call her twice a day.
I did my first
So
ice
then we can
fishing.
take a line in a minute.
On your lake.
Oh, nice, nice.
Fell on my
You
lap
have
twice,
a
caught one
like that.
fish.
How's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Doing well.
Wally, we're giving you 10 minutes.
Okay.
And you're probably going further if you brought each of us a t-shirt, but then again, that's perhaps we can't.
That's
I
bribery, we
will-
can't do it.
I wore the one for you all, so. Cool. So yeah, this is our, try to pop this up, okay. 3rd year doing the festival. It's going well. We've already sold more tickets than any other year before. We actually had already sold more tickets a month ago than the other year before. We sold out our headlining show already a month ago, so we added a second show. That's been selling pretty well. We're doing the comedy train thing for the first time this year. Sold out the comedy car for that 2.5 months ago. One thing that's really cool about that is the train. We've sold 100 tickets on the train. Over 70 of those have been people from out of the region. So we have 70% of the people that are coming to do that are coming from outside. So we know that we're getting the word out through social media and stuff like that. I think that's where we've gotten the biggest results in our advertising, because most of those tickets were sold before we started doing print advertising and radio advertising. But we have been doing that for the past 2 months. Did a big ad in the Westward Best Of issue, which was their biggest circulation issue of the whole year. We also have done radio with the comedy radio station up in Denver, which I was actually really lucky. They gave us a lot of free advertising when we reached out to them and just told them about the events. But then we've also done some with KRCC and then our local radio stations here as well. We did an ad with the Albuquerque Journal and the Santa Fe, I'm forgetting the name of the Santa Fe one right now. So trying to get the word out in those places. As for what we're doing with our social media advertising, we targeted it for all of Colorado, all of Texas, all of Oklahoma, Kansas, and then we did specifically within 50 miles of the Southwest Chief from Chicago to Los Angeles, and all of those places, and really played at that. We actually got promoted by Amtrak this year. They shared it on their social media platforms, telling people to take their bikes to Trinidad and come down to the Bicycle and Comedy Festival. So yeah, and as far as getting the word out, I think this has been the best we've been able to do before. The first year we spent more money on it, but it was also a first year event that nobody knew anything about. Right. Or anything
We'll
like that.
get any like bicycle sponsors, because last year, they're like Juan ran a couple of rides, but the bicycles were very much an afterthought.
Mhm.
And is that kind of coming more? Because I mean, even some of the comics made jokes about the bikes not really being a bike festival.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't see too many bicycles, but it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, this year the RAD came on as a sponsor. We gave them a promo code to send to all of their cyclists saying, the RAD Dirt was the code that gives you a discount. I don't know how well that worked, because we only had a few people actually use those codes. But we've done a little bit more. We are doing the rides again this year, but to be honest, I am not as connected with the bike world as I am the comedy world. So, and the main reason we did this as a bicycle comedy festival is because the first time I came to town, we didn't see a single person on a bicycle anywhere. And the first time I ever rode a bicycle in the area, I had kids point at me and say, "Wow, a bike!" And so it was really just us trying to put the word out there. And I think we've done an okay job of that, because we have attracted events like the Rad Dirt Fest and stuff like that to come down here by getting the word out. But it is more of a comedy festival than a bicycle festival, for sure.
Is there anything similar to this or going on with Amtrak anywhere else? Any kind of
No, not that I know of.
is
They do have like excursion events. They have Amtrak experiences, but nothing quite like this.
seek out some, the national news, Fox, CNN, some of those people, because it's a unique thing,
Mm-hmm.
and even traveling by train, is pretty unique. So there might be something, how you contact those people, I don't know. I complain a lot, so they don't listen.
It's probably too late, but the Colorado Department of Tourism has their own PR firm, and you can send press releases to them, and then they'll push it out into national media. And train events have been very popular the last few years, and they used to send out like press requests, like, hey, do you have anything going on with trains, or do you have anything going on because of my membership with the Distillers Guild, I was getting those for a lot of years.
Okay.
And we got tons of free national press from that, and I think this event would really play well into their PR thing just for future years.
I did send them a press release, and we did register this event with the Colorado Tourism website.
Yeah.
So
I think they've had some change lately, and so I don't know kind of who's running that at the moment. But if you're squeaky wheel, you go up press.
totally.
Camille, do you have any questions?
No.
Si?
Nope.
Well, I just got a couple.
Yeah.
How many people are you expecting this year? Do you kind of have an idea?
I think we'll probably get about 500 people. Last year we got just over 400, and like I said, it's been selling better this year than in the past. So far, we have sold almost 300 tickets, and we usually get our biggest push the last week beforehand.
Another thing I wanted to ask you is, we have this billboard in Monument, and have you talked to Marty about that? Maybe you could put that picture on your T-shirt on that billboard. It runs 24 hours a day, and there's 650,000 people that travel between Springs and Denver in a week. So maybe if you get with Marty, we can change the ad as many times as we want in a week, and so.
A couple weeks before.
Well, we need a couple weeks in advance
Electronic.
before.
Cool. Yeah, we're actually only 2 weeks away now.
Yeah.
So, maybe you could get with her and she could send something up next week.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
And from a downtown point of view, is there anything that the downtown merchants or people could do to prepare better, or did you hear any complaints about things that our merchants downtown could stay open a different hour or sell something different? Was there anything that everybody said they wanted that we didn't provide that we could do this year as merchants downtown?
Honestly, I didn't hear a lot of feedback like that. I think part of the challenge last year was that it was during COVID, it was all outdoors. We had to deal with certain businesses not being happy that the roads were closed, stuff like that. Even businesses that weren't in the district were calling me saying, hey, they're all taking up all my parking because they can't get in there.
Bar for the court.
Yeah, totally. So honestly, I didn't get a lot of complaints from any of the comedians or any of the guests that came about nothing being opened. I did get accolades from certain businesses about how it did drive up their business, including from somebody that doesn't like me. And so, yeah, and so it was good.
There's
to
someone
hear
that doesn't know.
yeah. So, and I would say that it would be ideal if more businesses were staying open and stuff like that.
Past 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
It's hard.
Yeah.
I try to stay open, but I don't get the business. I'm sorry to say that, but there's a few functions that I do not get business from. And it's very hard to stay open.
no, totally.
I just want to grab them, throw them in my store. But it is hard. It is hard.
Even last year, like Jupiter's Child over there was like our main stage was right in front of their store,
But
and I don't think she had like a
No.
whole bunch of people
No.
coming in. And
it's hard. It is, there's no doubt about it. I do not never want to see it to go away because one of these days you just never know,
Mhm.
but it is hard. There's things that happen. I don't get any business from Arcade, none,
Can we
but so it depends.
can we, I don't know if there's permitting, it's probably too late now, but to be able to do some street stuff with the shops, to do some sidewalk stuff during that weekend?
But Don, that's the problem. I'm inside and outside, and I would have to hire somebody to do both, which I can. But that's hard to put it outside and inside. When I'm right there on the store, it takes 2 seconds to pop in the store. But it is hard to have things outside and somebody watching outside and me inside, which is great to do it if you have a lot of employees, which is wonderful, but I don't.
That's wonderful, but that reminds me of 90s and sidewalk sale days, we need to do
Yeah, I
that.
can,
It's a different topic.
Yeah. it's hard for me to put that stuff on. I've
Or
tried.
even just flags out so that they know you're open. 'Cause
Well, your store is so inviting because you put stuff outside the door, not everybody does
Musician.
that.
But
Yeah,
it just, you tried it, in my 15 years, I tried everything.
Wally, do you have any questions?
Do you have any questions for us? We're not to try.
I just kind of want to say on some of that, what we're doing this year to kind of make it more like there's stuff going on, is we are working with Mount Carmel and Sister Blandina to do a marketplace for vendors in their area during the festival this year.
I heard that, yes.
Yeah, we're
Which
also
is good.
working with the food court. Instead of hiring like a caterer this year to feed everybody, we actually are doing a deal with the food court where we've made marketplace bucks that we're giving to all the comedians.
Commercial.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
then there'll be 10 or 11 businesses open.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's kind of their big opening with all the different stores, and so that way all the performers that are coming will have money to go in there and get whatever food they want, which makes it easier for us not having to deal with all the catering stuff, and
Right.
also make sure that they have a variety of things to choose from. And
Well,
then
if you're doing it, I didn't realize that was set up, Wally, but that's good because the ice cream shop is on that thing, Howard Grill is in that area. There's a lot of other restaurants there too.
yeah,
That's good.
no, I think it will be good. I think it will definitely be good for the food court, like that they're going to be getting a lot of business in there. But yeah, and I guess the question is, what else would you all like to see to promote these events?
Well, it's just like Don brought up, like the bicycle thing, if they could grow together,
Mm-hmm.
because one's gonna help the other.
That to an extent, because I will say part of the problem is people like how ready were you to go on comedy last year after you went on your bike rides?
I went on one of the bike rides. My issue is that Juan's bike rides are very, very long. Right? I think he should do a few shorter bike
Yeah.
rides around,
Yeah.
8 miles, 10 miles, things like that.
Mhm.
2
And
miles?
yeah, or just a couple miles, like a little pleasure tour. And I
Yeah,
think there
the
were
first
some
one
night or
we-
something.
We did do
Yeah.
3 of those last year in the evening time.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't go on those. So,
Mhm.
I think it's about finding where that sweet spot is and that balance.
Yeah.
And maybe working a little bit more closely with him or with the new bike shop that's going into town for next year to see if we can marry those. I mean, they're a little bit incongruent, but that's kind of what's fun about it, and that's quirky about Trinidad. So I think it can work.
Yeah.
You know, but, I mean, just for fun.
I just think that's the biggest feedback I get from the bike rides is that people go on them and they come back too tired to go to the comedy.
Yeah.
And
It
so,
should be a comedy bike ride, let's make it a half mile.
Yeah, I mean, is there a
that's-
comedian, is there a comedian
Well, even if,
who
even
likes
if
to
they
ride?
did, even if they did one ride, like, you know, the next day they're here to maybe do the comedy.
yeah.
So, the combo.
And yeah, and that's how we're trying to do it this year. We're only having one long ride to encourage people to go on. And I was trying this year to get a comedian on a pedicab and do like a comedy bike ride. But then I talked to the Denver Cruisers group who has done that in the past, and they're like, they can't hear the comedian.
Yeah.
Like it gets
You have
lost.
to just do pit stops where then, you know, they have.
Where
to
they're
talk
at.
to or something.
So,
All right, well,
All right.
okay.
Thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you.
farmer's market is coming down. We want to drill you.
About 10 minutes.
You got 10 minutes, so we don't want you going over.
Hi, guys. I'm with Farmers Market Association, the board, president of the board. We are excited. We would like to purchase, and we are in the process of purchasing new billboards and new signage for Chimino Park, the area. We found the books, and now we want to put little banners through the thing that says Farmers Market and keep them up permanently, except we will take them down during the winter so they won't get destroyed. My sandwich boards that I'm taking out, we struggled last year putting those billboards. 7 o'clock in the morning, we took them out. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we brought them back to our little storage shed. That was a lot of work. We almost died. I'm going to be very honest with you. So now I want to get permanent sandwich boards that run from June until September. I will pick them up at the end of September. October 2nd is our last one. I'm putting one down at Philom Ford, that little pavement path that they have by the car. I want to put one at the Welcome Center. I want to put one at Miners Memorial. And the fourth one, I'm not too sure yet. I have mixed reviews on it, but I'm not too sure where I'm going to put it.
So the ones that were provided to us a few years ago, on Saturday mornings, my front desk staff takes it out,
Right.
puts it when they walk out of the hotel, Farmers Market downtown Trinidad, you know.
Mhm.
Do the other hotels do that, or do they have those signs?
No, I don't think the other hotel would do it, but our older signs that we have, we would like to put them at a couple more motels up there and put them out there, but let them take them in and out because they are getting
All would do
older.
it.
Our biggest thing, you guys, is those sandbags we have to secure them, and that was a lot of lifting. These are gonna have water in them, they're gonna be permanently on the thing, we will just check with water. The city will check with water and they will come around and fill them if they need to, so they will not blow away. But these, the ones we are looking at, instead of sandbags, we are putting water in the base of them. So they will be, and they also, we could change the signs out whenever we need to, if we need to change the signs out. Graphics on them.
You already bought all those?
Huh?
Have you already bought? Oh,
No, but they're in our cart. We are looking at them because we want to see where our finances
Right.
are, because there's a couple grants, I'll be honest with you, out there, but I'm ear tagging for the senior program and that's the biggest one, is the senior program, because we match grants for the senior program. So this grant is strictly for our Facebook promotion, our website promotion, different things like that. But our biggest expenditure are those sandwich boards and our little flags that we want to put up. All right? And we want to put them permanently. We used to have them. We don't know what happened to them over the years. We found the racks. They did buy new racks to put them, and we want to put them on. But we will be taking them down too. That's in September.
Okay.
So what you're saying, just to clarify it in my head, so like if I was coming in on on West Main, going eastbound, and I paused at the first stoplight here, maybe as an example, you would have a sign that said Farmers Market Saturday morning and it would stay there, so that if I was in town on a Friday and I was a guest in town, I would say, hey, before we leave town.
It will stay up there the whole
Okay,
week. I'm
that's
not
great.
pulling them out.
That's great.
I want to leave them permanently.
Are they attached to the ground? Or
Well,
She said they're water.
they're water based, so
Is it
they have
just-
a big thing to hold water in it. You can't freeze, you can't put them during the winter time. They can be secured with sandbags, but I would rather put the water base,
Yeah,
that's what they're
We
doing.
use water for tents anymore versus anything
Yeah,
else. It's a new-
But
it's a new
they
way.
will be out all week long, and
How many are there?
I wanna buy 4 of them. They will be, and it will say farmer's market every Saturday, and it will probably go from June until October 1st. We gotta get out October 1st because of the bad bicycle again this year, but that is fine. So, did you send in your application? Oh, yes, you did. No, you didn't.
I'll look and see. I don't remember.
But anyway, but we would like this, these will be up all during the week, so people that come into town Thursday know that the farmer's market is going on Saturday. And we do, as a business owner, during the summer, I do get my crowd in Thursday that is staying all week. And so they're the ones that will see the signs, the billboards, especially at Miners, the Welcome Center, and they're on the corner across the street, but right there with Phil Long. I've asked them, and I think they said yes several times, but I keep asking them,
I
so.
like the new hours too.
Yes, yeah, the new
What are the
hours
new
you can
hours?
use different, 9 to 1.
I know
I
what-
changed it from 8 to 12 to 9 to 1.
I got all my business at noon. Everybody was wrapping up.
Everybody left, wow. All the vendors really like the idea of 9 to 1, let me tell you. But anyway, that is what I'm tagging the money for, is new sandwich boards that will last us. And these do have the plastic on them that you have to unscrew to put the new sign in every time we do it, so we can use them year after year. All right? Thank you.
You went 2 minutes over.
No, I didn't.
Did you have any questions for us?
Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions for me? Anything?
How can,
Did you have any for us?
how can the businesses downtown, do you find any way that the farmer's market gets frustrated because of something that happens downtown that as vendors downtown we could do to correct?
No, I don't have no complaints. We had a wonderful farmer's market last
Yeah.
year. For my first time and for my board, I had 3 board members that were from previous years, and they were a great help. And believe it or not, I have 11 board members this year, which is shocking, and 4 of them are young. So it was really nice to work with some people that are really enthusiastic about it, and 3 of them are vendors of the market. Okay, so they are excited, and I'm excited.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell.
You're quite rocking. Did I go over my time?
You
Didn't
did.
ring that bell.
Yeah, no. Mardi Gras Maywell Hotel.
Is there anything else out there?
I don't think somebody's out there for them. I know I have the Pony Express out there.
But is there anybody out there,
I
Jerry?
think they're every
There's somebody right here.
Are they
I know
scheduled,
the Pony Express, right?
are they scheduled to open?
They're opening for the
Very good,
Coffee
okay.
Fest. They're downstairs, the rooms I don't think.
Mardi Gras
are
over
open
there.
here.
Mardi Gras is in here, and Pony Express is in here.
Purgatory, then send
Pretty
them.
sure he's in, who's next?
Kim's not here either, is she?
No, she
We're
called
ready.
Marty.
Okay.
He's there.
Jared?
And said she couldn't. Was everything okay? Did we need anything more?
Is this the one to have a toilet?
For the end of the Victoria Toilet, the India.
The Purgatory?
The Pony Express, they do the
Oh,
white bread.
okay. Hi.
Good morning, my name is Charlie
You're
Kirby,
right, you're right.
and I'm with the Purgatory River and Car Bike Show. Just a little history, real quick, is I was born and raised here in Trinidad. Born on the north end of town. I left here in 1961. 56 years later, I come back to Trinidad. And I've always been in the car, building, stuff like that, in Colorado Springs, Monument. I've worked with the Pikes Peak Hill Climb when they had the Monster chili dinners and stuff there. So after coming back, a group of us got together and formed the Purgatory River Car and Bike Show. And we have helped out a couple of organizations here in town already. With the grand opening of the 14, with Jay and them down there, we have a small one there. Last year we had the one at Toyota. And that brought in about 72 cars. And they come in from Taos, New Mexico. They come in from Pueblo West, Pueblo. So what we're trying to do now is expand the area. We'd like to go to more into Pueblo because Pueblo is a one heck of a hot rod town, one of the largest in the United States. On that there. We also would like to expand into Lamar, Colorado, try to pick up some of those people from Kansas that go to that one all the time. Also Red River, that's a big one. We'd like to tap into that too, get some of those people from northern New Mexico in here. So we've been scrambling, and that's why we put in for a grant. Our money that we're gonna raise for the Purgatory River Car and Bike Show is one of them is going to be for a student, boy or girl, to go to the auto mechanics class at the college. And we've set that up with the college already. Jim Bernelli is tickled to death, and that's one of our goals. Another goal is we're going to have the war dogs from out of Colorado Springs coming in again this year. We had them here last year, and that was quite a hit. The dogs are just unbelievable. They come from Afghanistan, they come from Iraq, and they've saved over 10,000 lives in
Who
the
doesn't
war.
like dogs? I mean, come on.
They're unbelievable dogs. And they are coming back this year with us, and so some of our fees will go to them.
I love that you do it downtown, because our mission is to drive business to the downtown area versus using out at, the 4-H fairgrounds or some other areas. But if it grows more, since you had 72 cars, how would you make that work?
Well, we'd make it work. We would, like I said, if we can expand our territory and stuff and bring some of these out-of-state cars and stuff in. I've already been to Pueblo in February to the car show, giving out brochures, stuff like that. This weekend is Springer, New Mexico. One of us are going to go down there, and we have the Red River coming up. Two of us will be going down there. So we're out trying to get them into Trinidad.
Right. Well, what I just meant is, like, if you get up to the part of having 200 or 300 cars, I would really like for you to entertain personally that closing off part of Main and Commercial and having them on an angle. They did that in years past
Yes,
to drive that business downtown versus taking those cars and taking them out of town.
and that's what we want to do. We're not having any food vendors. We want the restaurants to have the business
Right.
on that there, and that's the big thing. And then they can roam around town, because a lot of these people that come with cars and stuff, they don't like to sit still and watch their car. They want to roam around. So the restaurants and stuff like that will benefit
The shops.
and do the shopping and stuff like that.
Chris, you have any questions?
Nope.
Don?
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
All right, we're okay.
Well, we appreciate your time very much,
Yes, we appreciate you coming.
and we're hoping to grow this year and come back next year.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a good
you
day.
very much. You too.
Triggers, nobody here from the triggers?
She called, I just happened to be there with Marty, and said she couldn't come early in the morning, and Marty said that her application looked good, she wanted to make sure she doesn't miss anything.
Okay.
All right.
You wanted,
I wait till he was back to me.
Oh, he's coming. you wanted me to go get
He
it.
thought you were flirting with him.
They just had a
We-
big anniversary.
How's everybody doing?
We're okay.
Good, Mr. Campbell, how are you?
Very good there. First, I just want to see if you guys have any questions for me.
Chris?
No, yeah, just because everybody else already knows. How many years have Has this
We
been going?
started in 1999.
I have a picture of Summer being just like 1-year-old dancing to the tunes.
I do have a question. Why was blues picked as the genre?
Well, I'll tell you how it originally started. Neil Sexton, Cal Sandbeck, Floyd Barella, and Howard Lackey were sitting around a card table playing poker and said, let's have a blues fest. And it just took off from there. At that time, Neil was doing the Blues Hour of KCRT. And it just evolved from there. The first year it was at Elm Street Station. And that's actually when I met Neil and got involved with him. And had about 900 people there that year. Second year again at Elm Street Station, there were about 1,500 people.
Yeah.
And that's when they decided to move into Central Park.
You know, with that, I just wanted to interject here as being a community member watching this unfold. So it's, you know, is that to let him know who Neil Sexton was. So Neil Sexton was a businessman and his wife. They owned the shops where you're at, and they also had were they involved in the factory? Did they have a factory too, or they did the greeting card thing or something nationwide?
Yeah, he was one of the owners of Altman Hall. At that time, there were actually he and two other people were owners, and they had Telegree set up there. It was a, you know,
They were big in business.
yeah, communications company, and they did greeting cards for a while. And of course, they had the shops downtown where Curly's is, and next door was also a shop called Curiosities, and they owned both of those buildings. And Neil, while he had all this going on in town, also was gone like every weekend doing seminars for marketing. And he had several big clients that he would travel around the country and do these seminars. Well, one of them in Utica, New York, Northern Safety, finally said, come up to him one time and said something about he had an opening for a COO and wondered if he was interested. And so he's still with Northern Safety to a small extent, but he more or less retired last year. And they moved out to Washington from Utica.
The history of the show, obviously I've heard that how it grew and everything else, and then went a couple times out the park. What kind of a feeling was there when it went, it's all free now,
Right.
and, you know, moved downtown, what kind
Well,
of?
as far as the attendees, I've certainly heard no complaints.
I tell you what, you did a blockbuster job last year. I was downtown there. They were opening up the Keller Williams store. There were people packed in there. There were anybody that was open was busy that night. It was just amazing the amount of people. I was shocked the people that weren't opened again because there were so many. Did you go last year? Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Well, and to give you a
downtown.
little more idea of the way it evolved, when we were still doing it at the park, we used to do a pre-fest show every year. And the last time we did it, it was at Bricks. And we had, I don't know, we had 400 or 500 people in there. Basically a sold out show. But at that time I was approached by the city manager and economic development director. And they basically told me they'd do whatever it took to get me to move the pre-fest to downtown and have it for free.
It was a Hollywood movie last year downtown Trinidad.
Then,
I've never seen as many people, having a good time dancing on the street. Thousands of people trying to go into businesses and buy. It was
Right.
incredible. And you know, the energy that created versus out at Central Park was amazing because everybody was on Main and Commercial Street. It was amazing. I was so proud of the town. I did have some people in town that were friends of my youngest daughters. And it was just amazing. They were all from Dallas going, Summer, you told me Trinidad was a sleepy town. This is incredible.
We had to get, ever since we started putting it downtown, the crowds just kept getting bigger and bigger downtown for the pre-fest. And the Central Park just became too much of a job for me, to be perfectly honest. You know, 2 weeks worth of setup and another 2 weeks of recovery afterwards.
How many people do you think you had
You know, I suspect we had probably right close to 4,000 people downtown last year.
And I was there till way after midnight to clean it up, and there was 3 cops sitting on one of the benches. And I asked them, how did it go? They said, we didn't have one incident. 4,000 people.
That's good.
And
So
so
that
that,
20-some years, we've never had any incident.
Is it,
Yeah,
it is a different market segment. Even the people that want to party in the booths is usually a little older crowd, so it's a different market segment. But no, really, I have known this fest from the beginning, and last year's was so blockbuster, especially that we were still in the middle of the COVID era when people didn't want to go out. People were everywhere. People were happy, jugglers.
Right, and
It was
that's
just so
going to be at least one difference between last year and this year. We won't have to put fencing up all over the place like we did last year. That was strictly because health department wanted us to take tracing information.
Yeah, lose summer does not attract much violence. It's usually pretty late.
Yeah. No, it's great. I mean,
I would imagine the pot shops, get a lot of business.
Oh, I'm sure they do well. They're usually very good sponsors. We've already had 3 or 4 of them come on board. I know we did have some lunatic, I guess, was walking down Main Street right here with a machete.
Yeah, he got
Of course, he didn't get very far.
He didn't get very far.
And I don't think he was actually capable to
doing.
cause any trouble, but
There's some people just wear them because that's what they do.
He just stopped at the gate immediately and forgot.
yeah.
I personally think that it's two-way. What I've seen in the last 5 years, the way it's grown, it's got obviously a home. It's been here long enough, but it's something that should be encouraged to keep going. Let it survive COVID. Some festivals didn't across the country, but I'm glad it survived and the city supports it. And people like you guys support it because it's important. It's an important part of the quality of life.
And it's sort of a market segment with people that we want to bring to Trinidad too. A little older market segment that has more of a disposable income, that doesn't want violence, wants to have a good weekend, and yeah, it's really good.
well, that's going to be our basic format for all of our advertising, postcards, so on and so forth this year.
Because it's a little bit older demographic than what caveman is going for. So.
Sure.
Well, and the whole difference, here's the difference for me, is that it's not on a holiday weekend, which is the toughest thing, because I love the cake and doing that, but it is difficult for us in hospitality to try to get people wanting discount rates on a weekend that's already sold out.
I'd say we have a much wider
Yeah.
demographic.
Yeah.
We have their
And it
people
brings
who
them
do that, we
downtown.
do ours,
Yeah.
but plus an older generation as well.
And our goal is to drive revenue to downtown. So,
All right, thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Well, look, Mila says you don't work. That's okay.
Art festival,
Did that art
that's,
festival?
that's good, that's good, right? And that, from what I hear from that is just gonna be fabulous. And the reason why I think it's fabulous is because we not only have great artists in this area, but her focus is on fine art, not just an art show. So she's going after, and because she's an artist herself in this big show, she's going to top-notch artists.
So it's not a craft show, it's an art.
Right.
No, it's not a trash.
Which is good, they're completely different.
Yeah, right. Brings a different market segment for people that want to buy art.
I hope that's what it's going for.
Yeah.
That is,
She told me, and that's what that you want.
Alright, so last one,
Okay.
Jared?
Jared?
Get up here, Jared.
I'm coming.
Jared,
I know Jared's got 2 of them, doesn't he?
how's the outdoor life in Trinidad?
How's that for life?
Well, you got beautiful outdoors.
Now that wind stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it a stop? I got what
I
I'm
lost
talking
an
about.
awning on my front porch as part of my
Okay.
storage building. It's that wind.
It was howling over there. Holy cow.
So over the wind.
And had a foot of snow that was thrown back and forth. Only in Colorado.
Oh,
Springtime in the Rockies, I tell you.
Okay, Jared,
Okay,
let us have it.
so, application was for the Predatory 4. The Predatory 4 is a rebrand of what was the Master of the Mountains Adventure Relay. It was the Parking Record Tour. It took a 2-year hiatus due to COVID. Now we ran the Predatory 4. The layout of the race, it's a 4-component adventure race. It starts with in Sugar Canyon State Park with a 60-mile trail run around Little Horse Mesa. The runners then become paddlers. We get in the watercraft and paddle the perimeter of Lake Nagoya. Come back to the boat ramp, get on now what would be their gravel grind and mountain bikes. When it was the Master of the Mountains, it was a road bike. Now it's a gravel or mountain bike. The bike County Road 85.5, which is the county road that comes out of Sugar Canyon State Park through the Lake Worthy Davis area, over San Francisco Pass, and will then end at the Prater Range, TSA gun range with the shooting component. So the bike now is about 15 miles. Originally was about 25 miles when it was a road bike.
So it's that one that comes up and over to the north of
Yes.
Malloy Lake and into, okay, it's so pretty.
It is beautiful. It's a beautiful ride. The county's done some work on that road, making it a little more accessible. So there should be lots of fun. It can be done by a solo person who does all the components, or you can have a 2 to 4 person team where one person does one leg of the race in a true relay fashion. So if you have a 4-person team, one person does the run, they pass the baton off to the paddler, and then pass the baton off to the biker, and then has somebody finish the shooting.
And this is a paper ad for it.
That'll be one of the paper ads for it, magazine or flyers or whatever like that.
You know, I love it, and I love that you're doing it. I personally would like to see where you put location, Trinidad, Colorado, Raton, New Mexico, in the black at the very top. So if I'm not a bike person, but I'm flipping through a magazine, I see the word Trinidad because I see Colorado Springs instead. But I like it, and I love it.
Yeah, that is confusing, because you do see it's sponsored by Chilzettis,
Yeah.
the Springs, but there's nothing about where this is located.
Well, it is in small print, so that's why I said if it was in black, in this black cloud here, Trinidad, Raton, yeah.
Sure. Absolutely. That's easy adjustment.
How many participants you have?
So we've had, the record we had before was almost 100 participants. We've had them from, right now, technically international. We've had a team from Canada come, we've had participants from Germany come, we've had local participants from Florida. Well, probably about 50% of the participants come from the Albuquerque, Denver, Amarillo area. About the other 50% come outside of that.
Who do you advertise this to? Do you advertise it to like the triathlon?
So
It's so different.
It is. It's very different. The best way I find to advertise it is like Facebook to different like kayaking groups or running groups or biking groups. I hit up all the states different because most state has a mountain bike association or a road bike association. And then all the different park and rec departments. I also market through Shields now, and the sponsor before was REI and Cabela's. Would have marketed at their stores and put it up as events that were coming. And so I know that a lot of it has become word of mouth now. Somebody's done it, they tell a friend, and they tell another friend.
That's probably your biggest advertising.
And that's,
There's a lot of gear you need for this if you're a solo doing it.
It is, and so I've partnered with Raton Outdoors. They offer kayak rentals here at the Trinidad Lake and the Lake Nagoya for folks who are looking for kayaks. There's a lot of folks who let people borrow. Like I have 5 kayaks of my own, so if someone contact me, I don't even charge them. Just
I'm buying a kayak, I just want you to know.
Good, see?
Kayak girl.
There we go.
Kayak.
The outdoor
Oh,
industry.
they love to go on the lake.
I am looking for a flat bottom aluminum boat that I can just stick a trolley motor on.
That's the kind of.
I've already picked out mine, I'm going for it.
This I'll get about 10 feet,
Done with
the
it.
anchorings.
It's hard to fish when you're paddling at the same time with the motor on the back. It's really easy.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, if you run into one of those, let me know.
Whenever anybody wants to go. I
You
have
should hook up with us.
Do you,
I'll go.
watching you come through the different things, you almost appear like a stepsister or brother, in case, or cousin or little sister to tourists.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyway, with what you're doing, so it's
So we're doing tourism and economic development. That's where that area I kind of float around in to, promote this as a recreation destination and tourists, can come here, but also economic development to build the businesses that will support, that kind of activity. Where, the Fisher's Peak Outdoors, or what is it, Carlos Lopez's business?
Yep.
That is just the kind of stuff that we're looking to drive here to make us a recreation destination. So.
well, maybe it looks like you're doing a good job. So.
Well, as long as they keep the smoke and mirrors up, then let's keep looking at it.
There's a Pony Express bike race coming up. Sooner you could market this to them too, because that's just like a good first.
So this will go to them, this will go through the contacts of the RAD and their contact group. There's different adventure races, both from Denver to Albuquerque, there's numerous. And this information will be provided in their race packets.
Does Strava have geo advertising on it like Facebook does? Can you do stuff through Strava, do you know?
I have never explored Strava. I wouldn't doubt it.
Do you know
They-
Strava? Do you know what it is?
I know not much about it.
So it's a mapping software that runners, cyclists, people use.
Okay.
And then there's a social media element of it. And so for a lot of people who are biking or running or whatever, or hiking, they'll use that to find trails. I mean, All Trails does too, so All Trails is another place that I'm not sure if they do advertising on or not. But Strava is very popular and people share it because they like to brag about what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And then they're competitive about it. My husband's pretty into it this morning. But I wonder if there's targeted, because you do get people who are really specific. I mean, you get a really specific.
Well, absolutely. So like our registration process or platform is active, and as part of an active, they market your events to all their active people. Same way with who is it? It's events, runner sign up, race sign up. There's a whole bunch of different sign up platforms that allow you to advertise your race for free. Just Try Find is another one. Race Waves, kind of that social media where it's not like Facebook, but it's a social media platform just kind of for racers. And so we're marketing all that already to help these get the word out.
All right, there.
Yeah.
All right,
So the plan is.
You have two applications.
you have two
I
applications.
do?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you get 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know.
no.
The other one was
The other one was
for CTO,
Oh,
social media. He
Social media.
forgets, so.
yeah, that one was, so there was an opportunity that came through the CTO office for a, was it Snapchat and Facebook, buy where we put in $5,000, they matched $5,000, and get $10,000 worth of, social media push outs directly from the Colorado Tourism Office. So basically, we get to partner with them, and they push out Trinidad through their outlets, which is fabulous. And we get to harness all their marketing efforts, and so that's what that was. That was the $5,000 match to match their. It could have been between $2,000 or $2,500 and $5,000. I figured if one not go $5,000, they'll match $5,000, and now we have $10,000. So we'll be working with Sarah Dixon, who's actually on her way out, who's the city's social media communication person to help develop that. But a lot of it is actually we give the assets to CTO and they develop the ads and they can look very much in partnership with them. And I think that those run out July or August is our time frame where that will just go mass media to the world.
So what we did with both of those, Jared, is we're not gonna run those through the grant application process.
Okay.
We're gonna give you the $2,500 for each one of them out of our advertising package that we
Or if
have.
I would just want.
So,
No, I thought it was just the one, the
Just the
second
one.
one, the CTO one was advertising, the
That
other one
was
was
the
the grant.
CTO, yeah.
okay. So the
Either
first
way.
one, the first one
Either way,
is.
we're gonna do that, the
Get
CTO.
money.
That last one was through our advertising.
Yeah, okay.
That works out for our advertising. We just thought
It's
to
on
fill
the
that out.
second page, it's right here, she put it
Oh,
all out
she
for
put it
us.
Yeah, yeah, we
Okay.
just wanted to advertise on that one.
Thank you.
So,
Thanks what you're doing for Trinidad. We
all right,
appreciate it.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
When do you-
Thank you guys and all you guys do.
When do you plan on moving into your new office?
The new office,
Is
the
there
plans, I picked up the plans from the architect,
Check out
the Waterworks building. So, the plans are almost done and then now it's just the pursuing of the funding and so we'll see how that goes.
So is there a hoping game plan, like you think that those funding is gonna come place in a week, a month, 6 weeks?
The original plan was hopefully to incorporate that project as part of the Centennial Grant process from GOCO. That process will roll out, given the plan, in about a year or two. If everything were to go to plan, which right now nothing ever does, so we'll see how that. But there are other funding sources that we can pursue to help move that project along. But I would like to be in the office, of course, sooner than later. But I don't imagine it would be within the year. I mean, it's slated at
Is
about-
the inside of the building done or is it's not done?
It's completely gutted, it's just the shell. Projected cost of between $750,000 to $1 million to do everything that we need to be done.
Would it be more than just offices, or will it be like down to a recreation center?
Yeah,
then?
so it would be Trinidad Center for Outdoor Recreation. Office would be the top. Ground floor would be like a welcome center. The one area would be like a staging area for outdoor activities, whether it be going hiking or fishing or classes would be on that one side. And the other side would be what we're talking about doing is making it an interactive history of the Purgatory River. Kind of display, talk about the river before the dam, after the dam, how it's developing, and just wanted to make it kind of cool.
Before the dam, that was amazing, wasn't it?
And from there, we'd like to be able to rent tandem bikes and everything that's available to being right where it's located along the river.
And you're right on the river
On
walk.
the river walk, right there, and
Close to downtown.
but not to be in competition with any businesses. If there's businesses who's offering those services, we obviously want to support the business, not be in competition with them. But that is the grand plan.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
All right,
guys.
thank you.
Enjoy your day.
You also.
See you later.
Have a good one. Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
just trying to rush it because I am going to work. I have my food. Yeah, so
Good employee.
All right. That's my minutes here. Well, that's just, I don't.
So we go for each one.
Are there any of these that we all agree on that we can do in one swoop?
I think we already kind of talked about all of them and
We
agreed.
did them all, Si. So,
The only thing that I will add to, and I will come back with the rest of the committee on the caveman thing, about setting up that promotion down there. I want to try to find a way to promote not only it for that weekend, but with a great deal of promotion from Cumulus Media down there. Get promotion for really part of the summer, even if it's just the latter part of the summer for downtown and other things that are going on here. Yeah, with it basically be a contest for somebody to win to come to Caveman and do all that, but all the advance, even if you don't win the contest or whatever, however it's put together, visit Trinidad, see what all's here, check out, do that stuff. So we get a kind of a double whammy out of it. The package that we're looking at
is.
with them, that ad gives us some pretty decent stuff to to give away down there to give to the station, and I'd probably get $5,000 to $10,000 in promotion out of it.
So if that's what you're saying, then could we approve them all with the consensus that on the first one, Caveman, that Chris would be allowed to work with, with the operator of the Caveman Festival to produce something for that area?
That's what we had talked about in the work session, that we would give it to Chris to do that.
Yeah, and now what I'll do is come back for approval with whatever I have completely done on our
Just
side.
trying to move this process along quicker for you.
It won't affect, what we're giving them. If we buy that ad, that's part of it, and then anything else I build over it will.
So do we want to just approve all of these at once, or does anybody have any questions as to the amounts of money that we gave them? Or-
I make a motion, we approve them like we've discussed it. I mean, it's,
With the one caveat in doing the Caveman.
Yes.
that would be an amendment later. An addendum to that, at a later date.
Did you just make a motion?
Yes, I did. To approve them all, like they are.
Second. Did you just second it?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Okay. Go ahead.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye,
I got them.
aye.
I got them.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
I was asked to write a letter of support for a grant for the Well Hotel for the facade, through the Department of History Preservation Department, on behalf of the Tourism Board. Am I allowed to do that?
I think you would put it together and it would need to go through Tom for approval, and then I think that's the way it would work. You could write it and get with Tom, and he approves it, we can send it out.
Okay. Sounds good.
Anything else?
I have a curiosity question, and not that you vote out, but when do we do elections and stuff?
Well, we were supposed to do it last February, I think.
Well, usually they've been doing it every 2 years, but
Yeah.
based on the 2 and 3 year rotation.
And
So
our
it would be your second year.
our terms are 2 years, right?
Some of them, they're staggered, so some
Yeah,
are
some of
3
them
and some
are
are 2,
staggered.
so that you never lose a whole board in a year. So I know I'm up next year,
Camilla and I were
I was
we were
last
just
this year.
so they stagger those, and I don't know if you have a 2 or 3 year.
I don't either.
I'm only a year person because I'm a storefront. I'm
So
the
they're
business
staggered.
owner, so that's where I went in.
I don't know what mine is.
I don't either.
Well, you got your letter from the city, it said it on it, or you could stop by and ask Audra.
It said it on there.
Yeah, it said like, thank you, you've been appointed to the Tourism Board of Trinidad
And it
as
does
of
say it on the
February
letter.
2022.
I
Did you
think
get
it
a letter?
does. I think I remember. I think it was 2.
Yeah. See, and I'm a yearly person, so I've always been yearly. I'm just one of those yearly
One
persons.
of those.
One of those, yeah. That go be.
Anything else?
Anything else?
Just that was a curiosity question.
No?
We could have Marty set it up so we could do it.
And
I
Marty
think
said,
you're in your second year though, I think that's the way that they've been doing it for the last 10 years that I know.
I think I think they did it every 2 years, didn't
Yeah.
they?
what elections?
Yeah.
I'm not in a hurry. I'm just curious.
Unless the chair is leaving, it's every 2 years.
I guess you're tired of me.
No, I think the reasoning for that
No,
is
I
just,
think
is
you're
by the
good.
time everybody understands it and
What's
gets going
going on.
and what you're thinking, 6 months into it, and I only got 6 months, so I think about 10 years they decided as long as the chair was staying in, that they would say 2 years, because it's so difficult. As you guys have entered here, all of a sudden you're gonna get stories from us or whatever, what happened 2 years ago, how did this. So if you're new on the board, it's really hard to grab everything in your first 2-3 months, and if you get chair, then before you know it, you feel like you're just on the run of understanding it all, and then you can change out. So that's why how it's hard to be in 2 years.
Goodbye. Have a good day, you guys. I'm
Let me
going to-
adjourn this meeting
Okay. I'm
at
sorry.
10:22.
Yay.
Thank
Yay.
you. Thanks
Aye.
everybody for your
Thank
work on
you.
this.
Thanks.
I just think we're gonna help a lot of people.
In prior years, I heard negative things about this board from previous members, and that there was infighting and all this stuff. We haven't had a single fight. I'm a little, disappointed that it's been so boring.
I don't remember having fights.
You missed the last board.
It was always with somebody else, not involving us. And it was,
Well, I do think.
I think we should
It's on
shut
that
this
big
off.
one on
Well,
the
you're
table.
talking about a computer, remember?